Hello, welcome to our weekly StopFake Digest, where we expose disinformation about Ukraine and try to set the record straight. I'm Irena Chalupa, Fulbright scholar and broadcast journalist, and I'm pleased to be with you this week. Among the fakes we debunk this week are Russian media claims that US Vice President Joe Biden was advocating federalization as a political model for Ukraine. Disinformation about Italy blocking the extension of EU sanctions against Russia, and inaccuracies about the Turkish president's son. Let's get to the details, shall we? The news website Golos Pravdy reported that in his speech to the Ukrainian parliament this week, US Vice President Joseph Biden declared that Ukraine should become a federation, claiming it was the best European practice and did not compromise state sovereignty. In fact, Biden spoke about decentralization and regional autonomy in the spheres of education and policing. As for federalization, the vice president spoke about it negatively, referring to the American experience. Quote, "This issue of federalism is the thing that almost prevented our nation from coming into being." End quote. Biden also emphasized that for Ukraine, constitutional reform that includes judicial reform and decentralization does not compromise your sovereignty. There was no mention of federalization. The fake news about Biden's alleged proposal to federalize Ukraine was also posted by Izvestia. Vice President Biden's visit to Kyiv elicited not one, but two fake stories. Social media and pro-Russian sites published a photograph of people kneeling outside the Ukrainian Cabinet of Ministers building on Hrushevsky Street in Kyiv. The caption below the photograph read, "Kyiv residents appealing to Biden to save them from Prime Minister Yatsenyuk." Thanks to the image search engine Tinai, we located the original photograph, which was taken on January 18th earlier this year. On that day, thousands of people came out on the streets of Kyiv to commemorate the memory of those who were killed by security services during the Maidan Revolution. This photograph has no connection to Joe Biden's visit to Ukraine. This week, several Western mass media reported that Italy was opposed to extending EU sanctions against Russia. Italy's leading wire service agency ANSA was the first to report this, followed by Reuters and Rai News. The agencies claimed that the source for this story was an EU diplomat in Brussels. The news agencies state that Italy did not support the renewal of EU sanctions against Russia imposed because of Russian aggression in Ukraine and requested a debate of this question. Using the agency stories as a source, Russian mass media such as the military television channel Zvezda, Gazeta.ru, Nezavisimaya Gazeta, Lenta.ru, RBK TV Center, Ura.ru, and others also reported about Italy's opposition to continued Russian sanctions. The ANSA news agency does not actually write that Italy is blocking sanction renewal. It states that Italy wants a political discussion before the sanctions are extended. Another Western publication, the American magazine and website Politico, writes that Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi, in order to raise his own political profile, is insisting that a high-level debate take place before the sanctions are extended at the end of this year. In an attempt to set the record straight, on December 10th, Fabrizio Romano, the Italian ambassador to Ukraine, in an interview with Ukraińskie Nowiny, announced that Italy was not blocking the prolongation of EU sanctions against Russia. "I can assure you that Italy does not oppose sanctions and shares the opinion of the other states members of the EU," he said. The Russian television station REN TV posted a news item claiming that the son of Turkish President Erdogan had allegedly justified buying oil from Islamic State. While the headline states Turkish president's son justifies buying oil from ISIS, the first sentence of the text reads as follows. The son of the Turkish president, Bilal Erdogan, declared that his business has nothing to do with buying oil from terrorists. The rest of the story has absolutely no information to support the headline. RenTV cites a December 8 interview with the Italian newspaper Corriere della Sera as the source for this story. In the original interview, when asked about the Kremlin's accusation that he was selling crude oil brought from ISIS, Bilal Erdogan did not make excuses, but explained that his and his brother's businesses have nothing to do with oil. They deal in construction, transportation, and restaurants. The interview then went on to discuss Russian-Turkish relations, battling ISIS, and corruption issues. Other Russian media also picked up RenTV's inaccurate translation of the Corriere della Sera article. These are just some of the most recent stories from StopFake. To keep abreast of exposed fakes regarding Ukraine, please visit StopFake's website. And also, let us know about any reports you think need to be checked out or verified. I'm Irena Chalupa. Thanks for watching this week's digest, which exposed disinformation about Ukraine. We'll be back next week with a new batch of exposed lies. I can't wait.